I need you to stop what you're doing for a second. Not because I'm trying to be dramatic, not because I want clicks, but because there is a window open right now for your finances, for your future. And most people watching this will let it close without ever realizing it was there. Here's the thing. The most expensive financial mistake people make isn't a bad investment. It isn't falling for a scam. It isn't even debt. It's waiting. It's the "I'll start next year," the "once things settle down," the "when I make a little more money." That sentence, that one habit of delay, costs the average American somewhere between $200,000 and $500,000 over the course of their lifetime. And I'm going to show you the exact math on that today. So if you've been putting something off financially, anything, I need you to treat this video like the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. What's up, everyone? So today we're going deep on something that doesn't get talked about enough in personal finance, and that's the cost of delay. Not the cost of bad decisions, the cost of no decision, the cost of putting things off, of waiting for perfect conditions that, spoiler alert, are never coming. And I want to be clear about what this video is and isn't. This isn't fear-mongering. I'm not going to tell you the economy is collapsing or that you need to panic buy gold coins. That's not what this is. What this is an honest mathematical psychological case for why the time to act on your finances is not someday. It is specifically, urgently, now. Let's get into it. The invisible price tag on waiting. Let me start with a number that I want you to actually feel. $1,000. That's $1,000 invested today at age 25 in a boring, diversified index fund averaging 8% annually. By the time you're 65, 40 years later, that single $1,000 has become approximately $21,700. Now wait 1 year, invest the same $1,000 at age 26. Same fund, same return. At 65, it's worth $20,100. You waited 12 months, you lost $1,600 on $1,000. That's a 160% penalty for 1 year of delay. Now scale that up, because nobody invests $1,000 once. If you're investing $500 a month and you delay starting by just 5 years, from age 25 to 30, here's what that costs you at 8% annual return by age 65. Starting at 25, approximately $1.75 million. Starting at 30, approximately $1.17 million. 5 years of waiting, $580,000 gone, not lost in a bad trade, not stolen, just evaporated because of inertia. And here's what most people don't realize, that $580,000 didn't require you to do anything extraordinary. It didn't require a hot stock tip. It didn't require you to be a finance genius. It just required you to start on time. This is the invisible price tag that nobody shows you. Every month you delay has a specific dollar amount attached to it. You just can't see it yet, but it's real and it is accumulating. Why we wait. The psychology of financial procrastination. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because knowing the math is not enough. If it were, everyone who watched a compound interest video would immediately max out their Roth IRA. But they don't. You probably know someone who's been saying, "I really need to start investing for 3 years. So why do we wait even when we know better?" The answer is a concept in behavioral economics called present bias. It's the scientifically documented tendency of the human brain to overvalue immediate rewards and dramatically undervalue future ones. It's why you'll choose $50 today over $100 in a year, even though $100 in a year is objectively the better deal. The future version of you feels like a stranger, and we don't sacrifice for strangers. There's actually a fascinating study from researchers at Harvard and Stanford where they showed people digitally aged photos of themselves. Participants who saw their older self were significantly more likely to allocate money toward retirement savings. When the future self became more real, present bias weakened. Think about that. The psychological barrier between you and wealth building isn't knowledge. It isn't access. It's the fact that your 65-year-old self feels like a fictional character. And there's a second psychological trap layered on top of this one. It's called analysis paralysis. People delay starting because they want to make the perfect first move. They research ETFs for 6 months. They wait to understand tax optimization before contributing anything. They want to pick the perfect moment to start. They tell themselves they're being responsible. They're not. They're procrastinating with extra steps. Look, A perfectly optimized financial plan that starts in 3 years will almost always underperform a slightly imperfect plan that starts this week. The math doesn't care how optimized your allocation is. It cares how much time it has to work. The windows that actually close. Now you might be thinking, Brian, I hear you on compound interest, but I've got time. I'm only 32, or 38, or 44, and I want to address that directly because this isn't only about retirement math. There are specific financial windows, real time-sensitive opportunities that genuinely close, not metaphorically, literally. Window 1. Employer 401k matching. The average employer match is about 4.7% of your salary, according to Vanguard's How America Saves report. If you make $60,000 and your employer matches 4.7%, that's $2,820 per year in free money. Every single year you don't contribute enough to capture the full match, you are handing back thousands of dollars to your employer. That money doesn't roll over. It doesn't wait. It disappears. Over a 10-year career, $28,200 in forfeited matches before accounting for the growth that money would have generated. Window 2. Roth IRA contribution eligibility. Here's something most people don't know. Once your income crosses certain thresholds, currently $161,000 for single filers, $240,000 for married couples, you can no longer directly contribute to a Roth IRA. If you're in your 30s, growing in your career, and haven't started contributing yet, that window may close sooner than you expect. Window 3. Real estate entry points. I'm not going to tell you real estate is always the right move. It's not. But historically, the people who feel like they missed the real estate market at every price point are the same people who never bought. The entry point you're waiting for is almost never coming. And every year you rent without building equity is a year of someone else's mortgage you're paying. Window 4. Business formation timing. If you've been sitting on a business idea, the tax advantages, depreciation, deductions, retirement account options available to self-employed people are substantial. A solo 401k lets self-employed individuals contribute up to $69,000 per year as of 2024. That window exists. It is open. Most people never walk through it. The story of two brothers. Let me tell you a story. Two brothers, call them David and James, both grew up in the same house, same financial starting point. At 22, David starts putting $300 a month into a Roth IRA invested in a total market index fund. He's not sure he's doing it right. His allocation isn't perfect. He starts anyway. James is more careful. He wants to understand everything first. He takes a personal finance course. He reads 3 books. He compares 47 ETFs. He plans to start when his student loans are paid off. At 32, he's finally ready. He starts putting in $600 a month, double what David contributes, to make up for lost time. At 65, David has approximately $1.1 million. James, who contributed more money per month for more years in total, has approximately $890,000. David wins, not because he was smarter, not because he chose better investments, because he started a decade earlier with a good enough plan instead of waiting for a perfect one. Here's what most people don't realize. The pursuit of the perfect financial strategy is often the enemy of any financial strategy. Good enough, started now, beats perfect, started later, almost every single time. The math is unambiguous on this. What too late actually looks like, and why it's not where you think now, and I want to be careful here, because I don't want this to become a guilt trip. What if you're already behind? What if you're 45 or 50 and you're listening to these numbers feeling sick to your stomach? First, that feeling is information. That discomfort is your brain acknowledging a gap between where you are and where you need to be. Sit with it. Don't run from it. Second, the math still works. It's less forgiving, but it works. Here's what I mean. If you're 45 and start investing $1,000 a month at 8% annually, by 65, you'll have approximately $589,000. That's not $1.75 million, but it's not nothing. It's a real retirement with real options, and it's infinitely more than what you'll have if you wait another 5 years. If you're 50 and start investing $1,500 a month, which is achievable if your kids are grown and your income is higher, you can still accumulate approximately $441,000 by 65. Combined with Social Security, a paid-off home, and smart spending decisions, that's a functional retirement. This is where it gets really interesting from a behavioral standpoint. Research consistently shows that people who feel too far behind are the most likely to do nothing. Psychologists call it the what the hell effect, the same cognitive bias that makes a dieter eat an entire cake after eating one cookie. I've already blown it, so why bother? That cognitive trap is lethal in personal finance, and I need you to reject it. The best day to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best day is today. That's not just a bumper sticker. It is compound interest, restated as wisdom. The specific actions you need to take this week. All right, enough philosophy. Let's get specific. Here are the exact steps, in priority order, for someone who hears this video and decides today is the day. Step 1. Stop the bleeding first. If you have high interest debt, credit cards above 15%, that is your emergency. The guaranteed return on paying off a 22% credit card is 22%. No investment reliably beats that. Minimum payments on everything else. Attack the high interest debt aggressively. Step 2. Capture the free money. If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not contributing enough to get the full match, fix this before you do anything else. This week, log into your HR portal today and increase your contribution rate. That match is a 50% to 100% instant return on your money. Nothing in the market reliably gives you that. Step 3. Open the account. If you don't have a Roth IRA, open one. Today, not this weekend, not when you figure out what to put in it. Open a Roth IRA at Fidelity or Vanguard or Schwab, all free, all excellent, and contribute whatever you can, even $50. The account needs to exist and be funded for the clock to start. Step 4. Automate everything. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Remove the decision. The version of you that has to actively choose to invest every month will sometimes choose not to. The version of you that automated it in 2024 doesn't get a vote. Step 5. Increase the rate annually. Every time you get a raise, increase your contribution rate by at least half the raise percentage. If you get a 4% raise, your contribution rate goes up 2%. You'll never feel the difference in your paycheck, and over a decade, it will change everything. Look, I started this video with a pretty serious claim that waiting is the most expensive financial mistake most people make. I hope by now you see why I meant that. Every single day has a dollar value attached to it. The compound interest clock is running whether you're participating or not. The windows I talked about, the 401k match, the Roth eligibility, the years of growth, they don't wait for you to feel ready. And I know it feels overwhelming. I know you've got bills and stress and 20 other things competing for your attention and your money right now. I'm not dismissing that. That's real life. But here's the thing. Wealth is not built by people with perfect circumstances. It is built by people who made imperfect decisions in the right direction consistently over time. That is the entire secret. It's almost boring how simple it is. It's just not easy. The gap between simple and easy is where most financial lives are won or lost. You now know what the window looks like. You know it's open. You know what it costs in real dollars over real time to leave it closed. The only question left is whether you're going to do something this week. Not someday, this week. I'll see you in the next one.